Advocating for individuals with Prader-Willi syndrome means embracing every voice and every story. At PWSA USA, we believe that expanding diversity efforts is essential to ensuring every family feels seen, heard, supported, and receives their PWS diagnosis as early as possible.
Something that has disturbed me, especially for the past several years as I've been entrenched in this PWS community and the PWSA advocacy community, is what happens to those families who are overlooked? What happens to those individuals who have Prader-Willi syndrome, who aren't getting a diagnosis until they're 2, 3, 5, 13? What good is the advocacy work that we're doing to encourage pharmaceutical intervention at an early age and physical therapies, occupational therapy, speech therapy, any type of early intervention? There are members of our community who we don't even know. They're slipping through the cracks. They're not getting their diagnosis. And to have people, a part of our PWS community, who are willing to stand up and willing to share their voice and share their experiences as people of color, has moved me in a way that I'd never expected. And I'm really excited that we've had some amazing, brave individuals step up to lead the charge.
One such advocate is Dini Rao, the co-founder of the newly formed PWS BIPOC Affinity Group, or Black, Indigenous, and People of Color, and mom to Ayoni, an 8-year-old living with Prader-Willi syndrome. Ayoni's PWS diagnosis came several years after her birth, which ignited Dini's passion for advocacy and her dedication to creating a more inclusive and supportive space for underserved families. She put this mission into action at PWSA USA's 2024 DC Fly-In.
Being in DC and being able to advocate for my family, but also all rare disease families and all those living with rare diseases, really, for the first time, it was like here in this helpless situation where so many things are coming at you and out of your control. Finally, here's something I can do, something that is proactive, that feels like positive.
Dini's interest in advocacy work began well before the DC Fly-In. Through connections made at a PWSA USA conference, she found a shared determination among families of color to address unique challenges, and that momentum led to the creation of the BIPOC Affinity Group.
A few of us, actually, at the Florida PWSA conference, we looked at each other and we were all kind of like, oh, wow, I don't see too many other folks of color at these conferences. So we kind of just naturally had an affinity for one another and started sitting at tables together. And then we started asking questions of the panels. I asked the question about how are you diversifying clinical trials and things like that. And what we saw was that a lot of people were like, yeah, we really want to do that, but we don't know how. I got together with a little group of the Conways, Janelle and Charles, and Karine Kabundi from Canada. And the 4 of us just decided we'll be organizers of this. And we'll take the helm and hopefully invite in more people as things evolve. But what we really wanted to do was attack all of these issues that the BIPOC community specifically faces. It's really nice just to have this place where we're supporting each other and getting to know each other. And then in turn, we're trying to really listen and hear from that group of people so that we can include that in our organizing, so that we then partner with PWSA and we come back and we say, okay, here's what we are learning about what the community's needs are. And then how can we work with you and other folks who have the resources and the leadership to be able to say, like, okay, let's come up with some real solutions for all this.
Through community efforts like the BIPOC Affinity Group and PWSA USA events like the DC Fly-In, we can continue working to address disparities, educate medical professionals, and ensure every family has access to the support they need.
I think that the first challenge that we have, and one of the first things that will be addressed by having the BIPOC Affinity Group, is just bringing awareness to the unique challenges that are faced by different communities.
And what ends up happening is you don't just help the people of color, but it ends up really creating a whole much more inclusive language and method of advocacy that takes in people of different disabilities, takes in different people of different gender, sexual preferences, and things like that. So that all of a sudden, we really have an advocacy platform that stands for everybody, and we aren't leaving anybody behind. So I think that's the real power of this.
Dini's vision for inclusive advocacy is a powerful reminder of what's possible when every voice has a seat at the table. Through your support of PWSA USA's Angel Drive campaign, you can help turn that vision into action and create a stronger, more united PWS community.
It gives me goosebumps that people are willing to put their heart and their hard-earned money into organizations that affect so many people. There is so much good that comes out of this. It takes something that feels like an otherwise unlivable situation, as Prader-Willi can feel sometimes, and it makes it doable. It makes it even joyful at times. So I don't know what else could be more important.